simple. A monster like Snitsky makes the rest of the roster kick it up a notch or two. You can't just go through the motions when you're in a match with a guy who wants to tear your head off your body.
What would you know about A-List? Nitro's a class act. He's got a great look, a bright future, a smoking hot tomato on his arm. Pretty much the exact opposite of you.
Snitsky is a massive, intense, violent individual who attacks people indiscriminately. No one is safe from Snitsky's wrath. I've called matches everywhere from bingo halls to sold-out mega arenas. While there's something to be said for small crowds, I love the energy of massive buildings.
I love watching Mark Henry go to work in that ring. And there is no one else in this business that has the power and strength to pick his opponent apart like Henry.
I remember back in the original ECW, Sabu competed in a barbed wire match, tore open his bicep, and continued the match using just athletic tape to close the wound. At the age of 24, Randy Orton became the youngest world champion in WWE history when he won the World Heavyweight title at SummerSlam in 2004.
I'll tell you, I wish my in-ring career was not over so I could go one-on-one with the great one and find out who the greatest WWE champion of all time really is.
Most superstars dream of having careers with half the success of Triple H. Multiple-time world champion, a founding member of DX, the list goes on and on.
No, I'm really glad to see you working on a career as a stand-up comedian, because you won't last much longer around here with that attitude. You're going to be gone, buddy. Back to stacking shelves over at the supermarket.
It's a sold-out crowd tonight in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the birthplace of ECW. Joey Styles at ringside with Tazz to call the action. The spotlight is on ECW tonight as we stop in Memphis, Tennessee, the home of Elvis Presley and WWE Hall of Famer Jerry the King Lawler.
Mr. McMahon is one of the greatest humanitarians that I am privileged ever to know. What a great, inspirational figure he truly, truly is.
It's a fact of life. Listen, there's 3 facts in life, actually. Veterinarians got to worry about dog droppings, teachers got to worry about spitballs, and referees got to worry about getting smacked.
The arena is filled to the top here in Hershey, Pennsylvania for what promises to be an unforgettable night of extreme championship wrestling action in the Chocolate City. It's downright scary is what it is. We've seen Mark Henry absolutely physically destroy his opponents, and I hope we're not going to see more of the same tonight.
Listen, if you can sing it, then you should just bring it, baby. The masterpiece has decimated some of the greatest current WWE superstars here.
If anyone lives up to his nickname, it's Sabu. He really is suicidal, homicidal, genocidal, and a death-defying maniac.
And these superstars don't get a lot of time off to recover, neither. Working 52 weeks a year, all that travel, it's not an easy life, but it's the best life I know.
I am certain. Every day of his life. There's nothing a superstar loves more than stepping between those ropes and proving himself against the greatest superstars in the world.
You gotta admire him for that. He went into their yard and wanted to be the big dog. You know what big dogs do, right? They bark. Coming from a fighting background, it's only natural Elijah Burke would be comfortable in ECW. Even still, I'm impressed with the guy's progress. Maybe if you ever were a winner once in your life, you'd realize how great it is and why people like Nitro do whatever they do or can to win.
I've been calling matches for the better part of, 10 years. But it's contests like this that keep the passion for this business burning inside of me.
JBL's tactics, as you call them, led him to becoming the longest reigning WWE champion in SmackDown history. Now that is sweet.
It's not over-color commentary there, idiot. The guy said some really harsh things over the years about ECW. I kind of hope he gets an extreme beatdown, even though I like him.
Listen, every time Henry gets in the ring with someone, he's sending a message to the whole locker room. And that's the way you gotta get it done around here to get ahead.
America's Dairyland is set to become a battlefield, and the cheese is going to hit the fan. ECW is here in front of a sold-out show in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Sickening impact as flesh and bone collide with that unforgiving security barrier. Someone's not feeling very secure right now. How much hatred did these two superstars have for one another to raise the stakes to this level? It's difficult to comprehend.
I actually like a good kendo stick swat right to the head. Right in the point of the head, actually. It's like a hardcore version of a fly swatter or something. Splat! Not only did Randy learn the ropes from his dad and his granddad, he got some good advice from Flair and the Game as a member of Evolution. The guy will do just about anything in there. If he wasn't born in the McMahon family, he would probably end up being a regular on the ECW roster anyway.
At 5 feet 10 inches tall, Michelle McCool is one tall diva. The only reason she wears high heels is to use them as weapons.
This guy Snitsky is certifiably behemoth. Over 6'7", 300 pounds. With size and power like that, there's nothing stopping him. I'm digging it too. And you know what? What would make this thing much better is if you maybe just kind of like pipe down a little bit so I could pay more attention to this great match. You're such a whiner, you know that? You just whine, like a little baby. I bet you used to be like one of those kids that ratted out the other kids who were cheating on the test. You're a whiner. What's so surprising about that? Gregory Helms is like a real-life superhero himself. Matter of fact, if he starred in a comic, I'd read it, no doubt.
That's true. The world's strongest man is a terrifying individual, and he is certainly capable of seriously injuring his opponents.
There is no doubt in my mind that Mark Henry is really the world's strongest man. The power of this guy is absolutely incredible.
Umaga had one of the longest undefeated streaks in sports entertainment history, even beating both members of DX in consecutive weeks. Tonight, ECW is going to bring down the house in Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm Joey Styles with the most miserable man on the planet, Tazz, at ringside. Welcome to Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. You can't get much further north than this, and you can't get any more extreme than ECW.
Look, anyone who gets in the ring with Mark Henry knows exactly what to expect. And if they're dumb enough to do it, that's their problem, amigo.
It amps up the competitive spirit big time. Not only do you want to be the best in your brand, but you want your brand to be the best of the three. Beantown has seen some great teams over the years, but this is not a team sport. I hope these fans are ready to see a fight straight up.
It's hard not to respect Tommy Dreamer. He has never given less than 100%, whether he was competing in front of 50 fans or 50,000. Montel Vontavious Porter, better known as MVP, brings all the pompousness of other sports celebrities right here to WWE. Stone Cold Steve Austin has faced some of the biggest names in this business and overcome them all, including WWE Chairman Mr. McMahon.
As one of the select few to have the opportunity to wear the ECW World Championship, trust me, Lashley has got a lot of responsibility on his shoulders.
The crowd is on its feet, the cameras are rolling, and the superstars are ready to go in the locker room area. It's time to start the action.
The scariest thing about Snitsky isn't just his size, isn't just his power. It's the fact that he just doesn't care about anyone or anything.
And he's not afraid to use it either. He's not the most technical competitor we've ever seen, but he has a vicious streak, the likes that no one had ever seen before him.
I could just as easily make you take, a few sick days or something, smart guy. By putting you in the hospital or something. Put you in a little coma. Ha ha, fun. That's one of the all-time mysteries right there, man. Let's just hope he keeps him in line or we're all in a heap of trouble. And yeah, I said heap. Give me a break. He's a WWE superstar, not a desk clerk. When he punches in for work each day, he uses a balled-up fist. Ha ha, that was a good one. Yeah, each competitor has talked a lot of trash about the other. They better hope they didn't write a check with their mouth their coolie can't cash. Ha ha, coolie.
Ah, come on. I bet you thought about being a male cheerleader at one point in your life. Come on, waving those pom-poms, grinning like you're a little idiot. You're a goof.
He built his legend by destroying some of the biggest names in this business in WCW, in ECW, and of course here in WWE.
HBK has been gone for a while, man. I'm so glad he's back. What do you think the reason why he came back? The energy of the fans, the thrill of performing, the sound of my voice?
Good gosh. Good night, Irene. There ain't a fan or a superstar in the building who'd hold it against you if you called it quits after a move like that.
Pinning someone means you beat them on your terms, but submitting is like throwing in the towel. It's insult and injury at the same time.
For years, Tommy Dreamer has shed blood, sweat, and tears, sacrificing his own body for the sake of ECW. Before coming to ECW, Elijah Burke was a boxer with an unbelievable 103-1 record with 100 knockouts.
Jeff Hart is a unique dude, that's for sure. This guy marches to the beat of his own drum or marches to the drum of his own beat or whatever the hell the expression is. He's different. Are you kidding? They just as soon rip their opponent's hand off, beat him with it, then shake it. This is no friendly game of checkers. Shane's an extremely wealthy man, but yet he still gets in the ring and competes, lays it all on the line. You gotta love his passion.
And that could do it. The Samoan Spike has claimed many a victim, and we might be able to add one more to the list here tonight. And that's not something that's lost on these fans. Regardless of how you feel about ECW, it's impossible not to respect Tommy Dreamer. Victims of Chris Masters' Masterlock include Shawn Michaels, Hall of Famer Sergeant Slaughter, and even SmackDown General Manager Teddy Long. Welcome to a night of extreme action emanating from Phoenix, Arizona. The Southwest has been anxious for ECW, and we're here to deliver. I don't know how you could even consider the fact that you might wind up buried alive and still come down that ramp for the match. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to an exciting night of Extreme Championship Wrestling coming to you tonight from Manchester, New Hampshire. Nice to see you picking up some Canadian lingo, seeing as how you can't speak English. ECW is in the house tonight, and Vancouver is eagerly anticipating the action. Southern California is home to ECW's unique brand of sports entertainment tonight. This is Joey Styles along with Tazz from Sold Out San Diego. Good evening and welcome to Los Angeles, California, where a city known for its beautiful people is about to get down and dirty with ECW. I agree wholeheartedly. Nobody provides intense action like ECW, and the crowd here can't wait, myself included.
You got that right. They don't come much bigger or better than Umaga. He can't be overpowered, and he can't be reasoned with neither.
I'm not going to argue, partner. If ECW gets to claim any credit for helping create one of the biggest superstars in the history of our business, I'll take it. In his debut match with WWE, Masters not only broke the nose of ECW original Stevie Richards, but fractured his orbital bone as well. It's the city so nice, they named it twice. Tonight, ECW comes to you from the Big Apple, New York City.
Thanks for the geography lesson there, Professor Punkenstein. I don't care where he's from. He's here now, and he's a mega dominant superstar. I respect performers who can do moves that I couldn't pull off. For example, Candace has that little trolley dance thing she does. I'm so not good at that. Regal is a true-life, real success story. He grew up on the streets and became a distinguished gentleman. We should all be very proud of him.
I'll tell you, this Kenny Dykstra comes so far at such a young age. We quite possibly could be looking at a future WWE champion.
I know Mick Foley very well outside the ring, and I've called his matches while he's inside the ring, and I swear it's almost like he's two different people. Get ready for ECW action in the mile-high city of Denver, Colorado. I'm feeling a little lightheaded from the elevation. How about you, Taz? The Sandman is all about brutality and violence, both in and out of the ring, specifically bars, and the fans love him for it.
Calm down. It's not like I shouted, "Oh my God!" Oh, that's really an innovative line. Or, "Can't fight, can't fight." Shut up.
Mick Foley has matched his sports entertainment success with literary success as a 3-time New York Times best-selling author.
You got that right. Legend is a word that gets thrown around a little too freely sometimes, but the Funker is the very definition of it.
What? Besides the endless workouts, travel, and mental anguish, these athletes don't just chill out on a couch between matches. Probably not, but that's not as sickening as being forced to join the Mr. McMahon Kiss My You-Know-What club. Don't cross the boss.
ECW is hailing from a rabid Detroit, Michigan tonight. Joey Styles in Motown along with Tazz to call what promises to be a memorable evening. At 6'3" and 273 pounds, Bobby Lashley has a physique that looks like it was carved out of granite.
You're not kidding. He's right on at least 2 accounts. And I might not be able to see the future, but I bet he's right on that one too.
He looks kind of overconfident if you ask me. It could end up, biting him on a you-know-where and you-know-what, or you-know-something, or you get what I'm talking about.
Ravishing Rick Rude is a master of getting inside his opponent's head. No one can get you to lose your cool faster than the Rudester.
It's almost too much power for one brand to contain. As a team, who could defeat them? And as enemies, they could tear the place apart. How much more abuse can a human being take? If this match doesn't end soon, I think we might have a serious injury on our hands.
The people in the ring can feed off that electricity also. When 20,000 people are screaming your name, it's easy to rise to the occasion.
We are just minutes away from ECW action coming to you tonight from Anaheim, California. What do you think about tonight's event, partner? No comment. Believe me, I have no desire to get on Mr. McMahon's bad side. I will never cross the boss. Snitsky is a freak, plain and simple. I call him a wrecking machine, but science hasn't made machines that ugly yet. Think of the ramifications of this match. Talented superstars, but they're going to be headed in different directions depending on the result. Beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia is the host for tonight's Extreme Championship Wrestling event. This promises to be a great one.
I'll tell you, it's kind of weird. For a smart dude, Mick Foley has got one serious identity crisis going on. How many personalities are going on in that dirty, crazy head of his? Every loss knocks you down a step on the ladder. But the great thing about this business is your next opportunity could be right around the corner the next night.
It's true that Tommy's gone through some physical hardships, but he endures night after night because of his adoration for these fans.
Yesterday's news, man. Mr. Kennedy is both present and future of sports entertainment, and you better recognize that there, Nits.
We're definitely seeing the toll this very physical matchup has taken on the participants. I've got to believe this one won't last much longer. I'll never understand why Mark Henry resorts to such brutal tactics. He's already the world's strongest man. What's he got left to prove?
Yeah, I know it. I've got so many freaking flyer miles, I think the airline's going to give me a free plane pretty soon, and you're not going to be allowed on it. Ah!
Roddy Piper has triumphed over every form of adversity there is, and not once has he ever backed down.
They say whatever doesn't kill you will make you stronger, but something tells me these superstars aren't going to be feeling too strong after this. I'm ECW through and through, and I can't tell you how glad I am that we got kids like CM Punk representing the brand these days. Teddy Long is no rocket scientist or nothing like that, but he must have seen some good in MVP to sign him with that kind of scratch to boot.
His devious ways may draw on the ire of the fans, but they've caused him to win a lot of matches and a couple of WWE championships.
Hey, good call there, Captain Obvious. They ain't getting paid by the hour, you know what I'm saying? You get the victory any way you can, then you hit the showers.
He was not a superstar you ever wanted to cross, that's for sure, but few superstars are more beloved by the fans than The Rock. I know, and I don't care. JBL uses his loud mouth and the fact that he's 6'6" and 300 pounds to bully everyone else around.
It's a tough choice, man. Hurting your pride bad or hurting your body worse. Frankly, they both kind of suck. Kind of like you. Hey, I'm just worried about the production staff. If the cameras don't break, they're going to just have to spend more time blurring out these ugly faces. Ah! If I was as sappy as you, I'd say there's no shame in losing a match that's hotly contested like this one. But then again, we know that's a bunch of crap. I'm sick of you ripping on Michelle. Let's face it, she's an educated professional lady. Quit trying to bring her down, you insecure chauvinist pig.
You're absolutely right. A 6-time WWE champion, 3-time Royal Rumble winner, Intercontinental champion, King of the Ring. He just smashed that knee right into the ring post, and that's going to take a heavy toll on his opponent's ability to continue this match.
If that's a fancy way to say they love him, I'm with you. Piper hasn't always been on the side of the Angels, but people have short memories sometimes. If that's a fancy way to say they love him, I'm with you. Piper hasn't always been on the side of the Angels, but people have short memories sometimes.
No matter who he is that night, Mankind, Cactus Jack, or Dude Love, you know he's going to deliver an amazing performance.
Hey, you know what, Genius? I'm pretty sure he's not in the WWE to make friends. The guy's all about winning, and he does it pretty freaking well. Regal can do anything. Brawling, submission, strong style, whatever style you want, Regal can do. He's what you call a true hybrid. You have no frame of reference here, pal. You're like a cat commentating on a dog show. Why are you even here? Who hired you?
I'm Joey Styles along with my cross-the-bear Tazz, welcoming you to Portland, Oregon for another exciting Extreme Championship Wrestling event. Welcome to a sold-out ECW event emanating from San Antonio, Texas. Do we have an exciting show for you tonight?
Way to state the obvious there, buddy. But you do have a point. Sometimes it boils down to how much time you spent in the gym and on the treadmill.
I truly think The Undertaker will go down as one of the best, all-time best, in sports entertainment. Eddie Dytra's first WWE appearance was with the all-male cheerleading squad, the Spirit Squad. Now, that's not a bad thing. While my partner's attempts at comedy may be falling a little flat, I guarantee the superstars of ECW are about to put on a great show. Randy Orton has all the tools to be one of the best in the business. I just don't understand why he can't wrestle within the rules. Welcome to Boston, Massachusetts, where ECW is prepared to turn Beantown upside down. Get it, Taz? That rhymes.
Oh, man, look out. Let me tell you right now from experience, there aren't too many things that'll mess up your mush more than steel steps right in your face.
That's Mr. Kennedy to you. You know, like Mr. Kennedy.
What a match. And I don't think that pinfall left any doubt in anyone's mind who the better superstar was tonight.
I love it. Cena can make a top-dollar leading man, but as long as he sticks with the WWE, Tom Cruise doesn't have anything to worry about.
No question. The Rock is a sports entertainment natural. Plain and simple. You are a sports entertainment nightmare.
That steel mesh will carve up your face like a cheese grater. That's what makes cage matches so vicious. Haha, it's just fun. Here's the deal. I'm an expert in the world of tapping out, and let me tell you something right now. It's much better to give than receive.
Yes, I think that if there's one thing that everyone can agree on about Mr. McMahon, it's that there's very little he can't or won't do.
People have gathered from miles around just to see what ECW has to offer tonight. Trust me, pal, they're not here to see you. Hey, check it out. I think I see Santa Claus sitting in the fifth row over there. You know what? I knew Chris Kringle was an ECW fan, that nut.
That's just textbook wrestling right there. Pick a body part and stick with it, and eventually it won't be usable by your opponent.
Controversial is just a word that slunkers like you use to describe winners like Edge and myself.
Is there any more sickening sound than hearing Mr. McMahon utter the words, "You're fired"?
I mean, you can't be a robot in there. You don't know what's going to happen, so you have to be prepared to alter things on the fly.
How can you not? The passion and dedication of Tommy Dreamer are virtually unmatched in the history of sports entertainment. He sure is, and he got it. Huge signature maneuver by a superstar who's clearly in control of this matchup.
It's tough to say, you know. Even though the big SOB smushed me, I think me and Bam Bam crashing through the ring left quite an impression.
I just don't think it's right for some competitors to use international objects as dangerous weapons. Is it too much to ask to have a fair fight? JBL may be one of the most pompous, self-absorbed superstar ever to lace up a pair of wrestling boots. Can you imagine the excruciating pain of that steel mesh scraping human flesh and bone?
With such a heated battle, it's really tough to single out one individual. I look for somebody to start taking more risk in the coming minutes. Anybody underestimating the Irishman's probably going to limp back to the locker room with broken bones and one more loss on their record.
Oh, man, look at this. Grinding his face right along that ring rope. Oh, I'd love to do that to your ugly little face.
But it didn't. His leap of faith paid off, and I've got to think this match is his to win right now.
In all my years in this industry, I have never seen a superstar with the raw charisma of The Rock. And that's including you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ECW, coming to you tonight from Charlotte, North Carolina.
My face only gets red if I'm trying to keep myself from throttling you whenever you say something stupid, which, by the way, is pretty often because you're a goof.
And from everything I've ever seen or heard, this WWE Hall of Famer feels the exact same way about them. I don't use the word evil lightly, but that's what comes to mind when I see the delight Mark Henry takes in destroying his fellow superstars.
Absolutely not. Funk is a man who can recognize the slightest hint of weakness and use that to completely pick you apart.
Hey now, they turned on him first, believe me. He just stopped listening to them, and good for him. He's been more successful this way.
Good evening, and welcome to Extreme Championship Wrestling, coming to you tonight from Hotlanta, Georgia. Starting in the carnival fighting circuit as a kid, William Regal has used brutality to travel the globe several times over. You have to remember, even when the action slows down in the ring, there's a battle going on inside these competitors' heads.
You know, you're talking about a former football star, best-selling author, a financial analyst, not to mention a wrestling god.
No, but as we've seen many times before, accidents do happen. In some cases, it's debatable whether they were accidents at all. You're not kidding. In all my years in this business, I've not seen anyone come down the pike quite like Sabu. If you have no energy, it becomes near impossible to push your opponent around the ring. If you can't control them, you can't beat them.
He's a natural-born entertainer, no doubt about it. I don't think I've ever seen a superstar ever loved by the fans more than Eddie Guerrero.
That's very sensitive of you, partner. I'm sure the superstars of ECW are going to give it their all for these hardcore Philadelphia fans.
There's the hair-pulled backbreaker. Makes me glad I shaved my head, and also I'm glad I had a better name for my finisher.
Evil's just a word that losers like you use to describe people who do whatever it takes to win a match.
A Samoan spike. And that move can crush your windpipe and leave you completely incapacitated.
The Hart family is a legendary name in sports entertainment business, and Bret Hart is a legend among legends.
Here's why Eddie's so great. He's used the same dirty tricks that get most superstars booed out of the building, but these fans just eat it up.
It's going outside of the ring, and bam! Oh, man, right to the ring post. That knee might be seriously messed up.
Shane's ruthless both in the ring and out of it. Just like his dear old dad, the good old Mr. McMahon. Especially when the fans tune into ECW, we have the extreme style where anything can turn into pandemonium in a heartbeat. I hear he's getting a little help with that. It's nothing like a little shock treatment can't sort out, or more like a lot of shock treatment. Like I've said before, this ain't ballet. Not that there isn't any rules in ballet, now that I think about it. Who knows? Actually, who cares?
And for him to have given that up only underscores just how hard this business can be on a superstar's body. He certainly is. He's a true pioneer of sports entertainment, and it's a real treat to see him in the squared circle tonight.
I know about that. I probably would have gotten worse grades if she was standing in front of me all day. How could you pay attention in class? You couldn't.
I don't think I've ever seen a guy as well put together as the masterpiece. This guy is a bona fide piece of artwork.
I can't even imagine the amount of pain that this hold must inflict on any superstar who winds up in it.
In a match like this, you don't just got to worry about your opponent. You got to worry about everything in the arena that can be used against you.
Chavo's one of those dudes that could just hang in that ring with anybody. Cruiserweight, heavyweight, whatever. Chavo can flat out go. Randy's going to have a lot of world title reigns before he hangs up those boots. Believe you me, the guy is flat out dynamite. I've never been to Blackpool, but it's not the prettiest name I've ever heard. You got to be tough to claw out a place like Blackpool.
Umaga started his WWE career in legendary fashion, immediately assaulting the Nature Boy Ric Flair. True, but he couldn't have achieved so much success so quickly if he wasn't also an intelligent, savvy competitor. The fans know whose backs ECW was built on, but they also recognize who the future of the brand is.
I saw it. That'll give you a headache this big, and the pain is going to last long after this match is over, which may happen soon.
We sure have. The Samoan Spike. Oh, man, let me tell you, that's a move that'll take the fight out of you in a heartbeat.
I resent that. King Booker is a fair and generous king, and if you disagree, you'll find yourself kissing his royal feet. It's even more painful than it looks. If you ever want to experience it firsthand, just let me know. I'll happily oblige. Some guys are just lucky, Styles. Unlike you, where you're just kind of like, I don't know, a loser. I don't mean that in a bad way, but you really are. Do I detect a little sarcasm out of you? The guy who signs your paycheck is right there. Show a little respect.
These competitors may be great athletes, but they're still only human. They can only take so much before they break down.
Hey, look, that's the best way to win a match the way I see it. I always went for a submission, or should I say, the Tazz mission, whenever I could.
Well, if you ask me, a victory is message enough. But Mark Henry seems to enjoy dishing out senseless brutality.
Yeah, Shad's he's a pretty decent competitor, but there's some folks who think he could be a more positive influence on the younger fans.
At 6 feet 7 inches tall and 285 pounds, Shad is one big superstar. MVP is one heck of an athlete, but I think his most developed muscle is his tongue. He never shuts up.
Nothing shows your superiority than making your opponent give up. I know that from experience there, punk.
Why someone with so much raw talent would feel the need to resort to tactics like that will never make any sense to me.
These fans are so loud I could hardly even hear you. Combined with tonight's great card, I could not be happier. These fans are so loud I could hardly even hear you. Combined with tonight's great card, I could not be happier. I really wish all the other divas would stop being so jealous of Melina. They just got to realize they'll never be as good as her.
The Great White North is about to heat up as ECW is live from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. There's no handshake in that meeting. In fact, that superstar will be lucky to giving any handshakes again in the foreseeable future.
Oh, man, getting your bell rung on those steel steps will not, and I repeat, will not improve your odds of winning any.
I'll tell you what, then. You get a pen, I'll take a sword, we'll see who wins. Matter of fact, since we're talking about it, you can have them both.
That's only going to make the superstars of ECW compete that much harder for these great fans. It's going to be an amazing night. Dreamer isn't in this business for the money or the fame, partner. Dreamer is here because he loves what he does, and he loves these fans.
I'm more into some than others, though. Like that time you stayed home sick. Man, I had a great time. Can you please get sick again? Boo-hoo. Think where sports entertainment would be without him. In the toilet. That's where.
With a hit hip-hop album under his belt, Cena has plenty of street cred. Did I just say street cred? Does that sound right coming out of my mouth?
I'm always partial to Tazz is gonna kill you. I like that one myself. That used to get me amped up, no doubt. Hey, he knew what he was doing when he slapped that one on. You can have a full tank of gas, but if you blow a tire, you're not going anyplace. I want your opinion. I'll give it to you. You call the action, and I'll give the analysis, and I'll bring the good looks and entertainment.
You know, I've never had to face Snitsky, during my in-ring career and stuff, but I gotta tell you, on the record, I'm real happy about that. Elijah Burke had 102 knockouts as a boxer before he came to the WWE. 102, 102, 102!
No matter how big of a fan of his you become, something tells me he'll always like himself infinitely more than you. I don't know if it's smart or just plain vicious, Tazz, but I'm sure the superstar on the receiving end would agree that it sucks.
Tell me something. When you look at the masterpiece, does it make you feel like you're even less of a man than you really are, or how does that make you feel?
Oh, man, we are deep in the heart of wrestling country. This crowd is all fired up, and guess what? So am I.
You can't let them build momentum. He's so fast and he's so strong that if he gets the upper hand, you're not going to get it back.
You won't find better athletes than these superstars, but everyone's got their limit. I think we're seeing that limit being reached here. I'm pretty sure it was his work ethic that turned them around. Tommy gives his all every time he climbs into the ring.
God, I'll tell you, I hate to say it, there sure are a lot of ugly fans in the crowd tonight. What'd they do, get a bunch of tickets for your family or something?
God, man, you hate to lose a match by tapping out. You might as well say, I quit to the whole world. Jeez.
They've really come alive here in the Alamo City. They know they're about to see the most extreme sports entertainment on the planet. In the words of the late, great Gorilla Monsoon, when the irresistible force meets the immovable object, something's gotta give. Hey, my mistake. I guess it just feels like you've been out of action longer because I have to sit next to you week after week after week. Listen to that crowd. This is Joey Styles along with Tazz at ringside, bringing you all the ECW action from Huntsville, Alabama.
It's not easy to defeat an opponent at this level. Everyone you face off with has the ability to win a championship. Who you talking to? Don't forget, I'm not an armchair athlete. I've been in there. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Cram it! He's having a little fun, and so am I. If you don't like it, then that's too freaking bad. Yeah, that was off the chain for sure. Does be proud to see today's ECW dishing out the memorable moments also. Duh, genius. I've done it. The guy's big, nasty, and as tough as they come. It's no picnic, let me tell you.
And that's the match. One superstar walks back to the locker room and one doesn't.
You know what? You're not going to last very long in this company with that horrible attitude. What happened to the bright-eyed, bushy-tailed go-getter I used to know?
I don't have to remind you that I'm the first play-by-play man ever to call a pay-per-view event by himself, and I wouldn't mind if I got to fly solo a little more often. Not only that, by holding that title for so many months, he was also the longest reigning champion in SmackDown history. You have to remember, when you step in the ring with Finlay, he loves to fight, and that's just what he's going to do. Whatever problems there are tonight will likely be solved inside that ECW ring. Speaking of the squared circle, let's go to it.
You know what I miss most about The Rock? You know, when someone would go to interview the guy, he just make them look like a complete idiot. I love that.
I don't know about that. Sometimes seeing your own blood pumps you up even more. Your adrenaline starts to flow. Pardon the pun. The only thing I've grown is more impatient with you. Sometimes you need a tough loss to motivate you to fight even harder the next time.
JTG has mainly stuck with tag team competition so far, not engaging in too many singles contests. Oh my God! What an impact! Now, can he get the title before his opponent revives? ECW is playing host to a packed house here in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and everyone is here for our unique brand of extreme action. Mr. McMahon's not the most technically gifted superstar we've ever seen, but he does possess a number of unique advantages.
Forget your comic books and your horror movies. We're looking at a real-life monster right here in a Samoan bulldozer. Well, this is not checkers. That's pretty obvious. This is pure competition, and sometime the blood has to flow.
Michelle McCool is one vicious diva. Just as soon stab you in the back than bat those baby blues at you. I hope the WWE chairman doesn't stop too suddenly, or your head might wind up stuck in a very dark, uncomfortable place.
About a million different things. Here's the deal. You got to think several steps ahead of your opponent, especially in this caliber of a match.
I hate to admit it, but when I look at superstars like the Great Khali, part of me is really glad that I'm not in that ring anymore.
And you know, shocking, I'm not one for the arts. Normally, that is. But I definitely think that's sort of fancy the place up a tad.
Your sympathy for your peers is just unbelievable. I'm sure your mailbox gets flooded with Christmas cards every December. Melina is like the sirens of ancient mythology, using her seductive charms to lure men to their demise.
That's just jealousy, plain and simple. When you're as great as MVP, all sorts of people try to tear you down.
Triple H has so much ability, I don't understand why he blatantly ignores the referee and the rules. Umaga is an unstoppable Samoan bulldozer. He's left a pile of broken bodies in his wake.
Don't count your chickens before they cross the road. By the way, I hate that expression. In Brooklyn, there's no chickens. We got pigeons.
Well, you're not wrong. Austin wears his heart right on his sleeve. I mean, he doesn't actually wear sleeves, but you know what I mean. He'll tell it to you just like it is.
She may have not have won the Diva Search competition, but she did earn a job here in the WWE. You got to give her an A for effort.
H-Town is now ECW's town, as Extreme Championship Wrestling is live in Houston, Texas tonight. Kane is one of the most intimidating figures ever to set foot in a WWE ring.
It sounded a little close to an opinion to me, and not for nothing, that's my territory. I say Helms is off the chain.
Even the strongest, most well-conditioned athletes need air. They need to breathe just to compete.
And you didn't even compete. But one of them is going to have a whole lot of time to rest in peace, if you know what I mean. So show me in the rule book where it says you can't do that. By the way, where the hell is this rule book that we always talk about?
Well, if they're smart, they'll set up a rematch ASAP. I'm telling you right now, or they're going to have some unhappy fans on their hands.
I certainly am. It's the most electrifying move in sports entertainment, the People's Elbow.
Well, if it isn't a guy who owes me a thank you, John Bradshaw Layfield. If I didn't leave SmackDown, he wouldn't have a job.
Listen, when you're just starting out the way Kenny is, you take advantage when you can, whether it's on the up and up or not.
He sure does. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai kickboxing, he's a real student of mixed martial arts. Along with his female counterpart Melina, Johnny Nitro is half of the most dangerous couple in WWE.
That's the nature of the beast, man. If it's not nailed down, someone's going to take it and try to bash it in your head. Hey, look, if the master lock is locked on you, you're done. If Chris Masters locks his fingers, there isn't much hope of escaping.
Bret Hart calls himself the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. I think he's dead on with that.
Not like I'm Ed the Strangler Lewis over here. I've been in a ring with a lot of guys on that WWE roster.
Talk about your bad landings. Any landing you can walk away from is a good one. But the jury's still out if that's the case right here.
I don't see you wearing black and white stripes there, wannabe. Just do your job and call a match and be lucky I'm not slapping you.
More recently, I think Bobby Lashley leaping and crashing through the steel cage to get at Umaga was an oh my god moment.
Michelle McCool is one smart cookie. She taught 6th grade before coming to WWE. That's 2 grades higher than me.
No, I think he went to a medical facility. He was knocked out but won by disqualification when Burke failed to go to a neutral corner. That's for sure. You don't see many superstars with the ability to physically dominate their opponents the way Marcus Corvon can.
They don't have an ounce of quit in them. When you have competitors that are determined on squaring off, you know it's going to be a heck of a match.
But what about the long-term ramifications? An injury like that could become serious, especially if the match goes on much longer.
You mean like the fights you got into when your classmates found out you told on them, and then they beat you up after school?
Each and every one of these Southern California fans is in for a treat. I can feel it. Let's go to the action.
And in a situation like that, you can't even defend yourself. You got to just try and, gut it out to the best of your abilities.
Oh my God, I think it's safe to say that is about the last move any superstar wants to experience.
Ugly to you means effective to me. Make your opponent bleed, and you've got the psychological edge right over him. It sure is Samoan Spike. Good luck trying to talk, much less breathe. I wish he'd do that to you.
It certainly doesn't leave any room for argument about who the dominant superstar was in this match.
ECW and Canada go together like brass knuckles and broken jaws, baby. This one's going to be off the hook. That's not saying much, since I've seen you run away from stray cats, goldfish, turtles, and possums. Oh my.
I don't think there's another superstar who can get under the skin of the fans and his opponents like Ravishing Rick Rude. Snitsky made an impact immediately when entering ECW, attacking the world champion Bobby Lashley.
Absolutely, and that's why Eddie Guerrero's one of my most absolute all-time favorite superstars ever. I've had many wars with Sabu, and let me tell you, no one can take you to the limit like that guy. It's not just his size, though. The guy can move. It's even more amazing when someone that big can handle himself.
Wham! Did you see that knee bounce off that ring post? That's the way you pick apart your opponent's vertical base. Mr. McMahon is an American icon, for God's sakes. His face should be on a dollar bill. Let's say like a $3 bill.
Man, he drilled his opponent right through that table. That's adding insult to injury, or maybe the other way around.
Oh man, this is not pretty to look at, but most things you gotta do to win a match like this isn't pretty to look at.
There is no doubt Eddie Guerrero used to tear the house down in ECW back in the day, and I'm glad to say I was there to witness it.
There isn't an empty seat in the house tonight as the superstars of ECW touch down in St. Louis, Missouri. No matter how long Stone Cold Steve Austin is away from the squared circle, he's as popular as ever when he returns.
Hey, desperate times call for desperate measures. I say, if it gives you an advantage, do it. I'm partial to mat-based tactics myself here, but these competitors are really showing us everything in this match.
JTG is here to represent Crime Time, the tag team that's stealing the attention of WWE fans. Get it? Stealing? A massive double-arm suplex that takes a lot of skill to execute and even more toughness to recover from.
Holy's in-ring style was brutal, and his writing style's even worse. Nobody's safe when this guy's got a pen in his hand. I gotta say, I really dig this Michelle McCool. Nothing like a smoking hot chick that loves to mix it up in the ring. You can almost feed off the fumes of this crowd. Smells like, chocolate. I don't know, maybe something like that.
You can't compete in a physical match like this and not wind up feeling the effects. And that's what we're starting to see right here.
No question, ECW never fails to bring the house down, and Huntsville will never be the same after tonight.
It's not that. I'm just sick of all this cat and mouse stuff. Unless the cat traps and eats the mouse, I like that.
And as a former hardcore champion, I take my hat off to the man for that. And I'm not even wearing a hat.
I don't want to take anything away from the masterpiece's accomplishments, but don't you find that his attitude leaves a little something to be desired? Yep. But the ladder of success goes both ways. On the losing side, that means a trip down one rung. I have a feeling as long as ECW keeps filling up arenas, Tommy Dreamer will keep lacing up his boots. Welcome to a sellout crowd in Kansas City, Missouri. Another night of ECW action is about to take place.
He's attacking his opponent's confidence. I think that's a good move. How do you attack confidence? What am I saying?
A lot to be jealous of. He's the billionaire chairman of the most powerful company in sports entertainment history.
Oh, man. He crushed him with that Arabian face buster. Oh, that brings back some bad memories.
You're not the only one. Mick Foley is not an easy superstar to watch, but it's even harder to tear your eyes away from him.
I doubt it, but remember, there was a time when there wasn't a bigger bad guy in this business than old Rocky.
The difference is style, my friend. Eddie Guerrero puts a little flavor in his actions to really draw the fans in.
You don't normally see guys as big and strong as the alpha male move as quick as this guy does. I remember a match just like this, but I can't remember how it ends. I'm pretty sure JBO wins, though. He usually does.
A gentleman with Regal's reputation doesn't break rules. He just politely bends them a little bit.
The human arm isn't meant to sustain that type of punishment. I'm sure that sends pain throughout your entire body.
And make no mistake about it, The Rock has not forgotten his millions and millions of WWE fans. Whoa! Everybody knows there's risk going into matches like this, but no one plans on getting thrown off the cell.
When you're caged like an animal, I guess it brings out the killer instinct in these superstars just that much more.
You buy a ringside seat, come on, you gotta expect stuff like that. Those fans have a good story to tell to their friends on the way back home.
That's a pretty safe bet. I doubt we'll ever see another superstar in our lifetimes like the legendary Hitman. But without them, we'd all be out of a job. They're as much our boss as Mr. McMahon is. Just don't tell him I said that. He's not here, is he? Edge has really asserted himself as one of the most successful superstars on the WWE roster today.
It's not like he found that crown in a cereal box or something. He earned it fair and square and has every right to wear it proudly. Kilt skirt, whatever you want to call it, all I'm saying is you got to be one tough hombre to get away with wearing something like that. Guy looks nuts. Kilt skirt, whatever you want to call it, all I'm saying is you got to be one tough hombre to get away with wearing something like that. Guy looks nuts.
Hey, look, here's the deal. Rick Rude is twice the man of any guy in this arena, which basically makes him about 10 times the man you are.
It's not always the journey that matters. Sometimes it's the destination. I'm like a poet, I'm telling you. A poet, I say.
The fans have certainly taken to CM Punk. He's one of the most popular superstars here in ECW.
The one thing we haven't seen is the most important thing, and that's the decision. And right now, I don't have a clue how it's going to go.
I knew it was only a matter of time before we saw that. I don't like it, but as long as it wins matches, it's going to keep happening.
If you weren't planning on making it back into the ring by the ref's count, you should have never laced up your cotton-picking boots in the first place. No kidding. Raw and SmackDown put on a good show, but we go to the extreme, baby. That's how ECW rolls.
With good reason. You and I both know what's coming up, and these fans are definitely getting their money's worth tonight.
He might have won the battle with that pinfall, but I'm thinking this war is far from over, if you know what I'm saying.
He's as ruthless in the ring as he is in the boardroom. Mr. McMahon will do whatever it takes to win.
Mickie James is a hottie, I'm telling you that right now. But she's a brick house with a couple of screws loose, if you know what I'm saying.
And that charisma not only took him to the very top of sports entertainment, it also allowed him to take Hollywood by storm.
There's no time. You're too busy either mentally preparing before a match or breaking down what happened during the match.
With the animosity being shown, I'm pretty sure this won't be the last time these superstars hook up. We're coming at you from a capacity crowd in Calabasas, California for a night of Extreme Championship Wrestling.
Hey, listen, it's a battlefield in there, let me tell you. You got to do everything in your power to survive, legal or not. The guy can bounce around pretty good, that's for sure, but my philosophy is, if you can win without doing that, don't risk it. I don't know, man. You'd be tough to catch in that ring, kind of like a greased-up shaved cat with mayonnaise on its face. There aren't a lot of guys in this business who can claim they've been trained by a WWE Hall of Famer, especially one they're related to.
Frankly, sometimes Gregory Helms makes me sick. He's one of the most conceited people I have ever known. Maybe that's because when he was coming up, you were spending time in Philadelphia for a certain extreme organization. I guess you're right, partner. Every time you go to inflict punishment, there's a chance it'll be inflicted on you instead. To make it in this business, you really have to be well-rounded. There's always someone stronger, faster, or bigger. You not being able to complain? If that's not a unanimous recommendation for this contest, I don't know what is. Sabu was trained to be a professional wrestler by his uncle, the Hall of Famer, the original Sheik.
One of the perks of being Mark Henry is that there aren't many people who can stop you from doing anything you want.
You're a poet. The people of Montreal are in for a spectacle the likes of which they've never seen.
And anytime you're taking punches like that and you're not answering back, well, you ain't on the winning side of this match. Let's just put it that way.
When you can pin your opponent's shoulders to the mat for a 3 count, just like that, you're sending a message.
When not in the ring, Candice has appeared on several television shows and TV commercials, including the year's biggest football game.
I don't even know how he can still stand after taking so much physical abuse. I don't think this is going to last much longer.
That was a hard-fought battle, but in the end, only one superstar could pick up the win. And that may be it for the match. But I hope it's not the last time we see these superstars in the ring together. Batista is such an imposing force here in WWE. I wouldn't want to look across the ring at him, but the fact that there is any hope is enough for some superstars to try their luck at breaking the master lock. The energy resonating off this crowd is indeed infectious. I can't wait for the action to get started. Johnny Nitro has tasted plenty of success, both in singles competition and as part of the tag team M&M.
I like this place. They got a great slogan here. Live free or die. Huh, I wish you did the second part.
And as you've said so many times before, winning matches is really all that matters when it comes down to the final analysis. As intense of a contest as we're seeing, I don't know if these superstars will be able to get out all of their aggression tonight. You say it like it's a good thing. I wish Mark Henry would focus more on winning matches and less on ending careers.
No doubt, the shortest distance between 2 points may be a straight line, but I find this way more entertaining.
The Phenom has left a path of broken bodies in his wake over his long, illustrious career.
That padding helps about as much as wrapping a baseball bat in a sheet. It still hurts like crazy.
It's a classic because it's so effective. You've got your opponent's head, you've got a steel cage. Makes sense. Each competitor is like a coiled snake in this match, waiting for an opportunity to strike. And it all came down to that expertly applied submission. That took all of the fight out of his opponent. That's the thing with the three brands. If things aren't working for you at Raw, you can make a fresh start on SmackDown. Obviously, injuring an arm limits your opponent's offensive repertoire. It's smart, but it's vicious.
You know what? I honestly never thought I'd see the day when ECW would make a comeback, but I'm pumped to be a part of it.
And I can only imagine that's a lot easier said than done. Khali must take up at least a quarter of the ring as it is.
And that's why I'm giving him props. I don't just compliment anybody. You know that from experience, because you kind of suck.
Charlotte has a lot of history, but this audience is about to see sports entertainment like they've never seen it before. Please don't try this at home. That could result in permanent injury to some very delicate equipment down there.
The Midwest is about to explode with some high-impact, extreme action, and I can't wait.
It's going to take someone equally determined to knock him off his perch, and there aren't a lot of superstars who fit that bill.
From anyone else, that would just be ego. From the Hitman, it's just the truth, plain and simple.
No, but I bet as many people buy a ticket to boo him as they do to cheer any other superstar on the roster. Hey, that Tazzplex ain't named after me for nothing. It's a deadly move, no doubt. Well, I don't want to see somebody hold on to a headlock for 30 minutes, but a slower, smarter pace can be a good thing.
He's got him hanging off the apron, and he's grinding his forearm right into the facial features of his opponent. Tori Wilson is one decorated diva. Miss Galaxy winner? Playboy cover girl? That may have to be a more respectable accomplishment if he hadn't stepped on everyone's heads on his way up the ladder. John Bradshaw Layfield was born and raised in the great state of Texas, but currently resides in New York City.
A locker room is just about the most dysfunctional place you can ever imagine. And in sports entertainment, it's even crazier. I see a big future ahead for the masterpiece. He's got a body chiseled out of stone and a brain to match. I hear you. Electricity is in the air, and these superstars are doing everything they can to harness it. Triple H is the cerebral assassin. He is as good at breaking dudes' minds as he is their bodies. Two superstars came into the match, and only one of them is still above ground. Survival of the fittest, I guess. I've got all the respect in the world for one Eddie Guerrero. Everywhere he's gone, he's been a huge star.
Watching JBL in action makes me realize what a loss it was for this great business that he retired. If you're the one doing the slamming, everything is coming up sunshine. For the one getting smashed, well, good luck.
He's ruthlessly efficient, to be sure, and he's honed his craft over many years and many continents.
I've seen guys get knocked flat out after that. I'm telling you, if you keep going after that one, you're one tough SOB.
What are you saying? You trying to be funny? Don't try and be cute, because if you do that, you get choked out by me.
The ref has had his hands full all match long, and I fear his job isn't going to get any easier. That was completely unintentional. I must be feeling a little run down. Kill me. Well, you could argue that King Booker is an embarrassment to every person who has ever descended from actual royalty. Did you see that? These superstars just destroyed that solid steel cell roof. After that kind of impact, I'm not surprised. I also won't be surprised if the ref considers stopping this contest.
Hey, why in the hell did Kelly's parents give her the same name twice? Kelly. That's like you, Joey.
Mickie James seems like she's calmed down a bit recently. Could be the meds. That doesn't make you a bad person.
Hey, if this was easy, every Tom, Dick, and Joey would try to get in the ring. This is no joke.
What are you talking about? If I had a buck every time Melina broke a rule, I'd retire early. You'd be out here by yourself.
That's one of the perks of being as talented as he is. Losers like you aren't going to understand that. You're just a loser. Tell you what, had to take Chris Masters a long time to build a body like that. But the dude's still pretty young.
Escape is only 10 feet away, but it's got to be the longest 10 feet of this superstar's life.
Mr. Kennedy is the best thing ever to come out of Green Bay, Wisconsin, including that little football team they got.
I'll never understand why there are so many dangerous objects under the ring. Doesn't anyone look under there before the match starts? With the success she's had in the women's division, the shoe might be on the other foot. After all, Mickey's a very talented performer. CM Punk lives the straight-edge lifestyle. Means no drugs, no alcohol, and no tobacco.
I don't know how the ref missed that one. God, Either he's got something in his eye or something in his pocket. Get it?
You know, I don't care how bad you want to win the match. The fact of the matter is the human body is only capable of so much.
There are limits to the amount of punishment that a human body can absorb. These superstars are proof of that.
Yeah, and you're always telling me that it doesn't matter if you win, it's how you win that's supposed to be so important. It's too close to call. It all boils down to who wants it the most and what they're willing to sacrifice to get it. I try not to have any expectations. I let the people in the ring tell the story, and it's got to be better than you trying to tell it.
What? Oh, come on. You gotta be kidding me. Someone's got to come out here and restart this thing, I hope.
You ever been in a fight there, or like a real fight, girl pants? There aren't many rules out there in a real fight, but you wouldn't know. I don't get why people don't cheer Candace more. What do fans got against a beautiful chick like this?
There goes the cell. These superstars will stop at nothing in this Hell in a Cell match. I'm sure I'm not the only one in this arena tonight who hopes to see the masterpiece learn a lesson in respect.
Well, it is. That's why not every bozo with a big set of biceps can make it in this business.
Very few superstars have the physical, mental, and especially verbal gifts of Elijah Burke.
Triple jump moonsault. That's some impressive acrobatics right there and some wicked punishment.
A count out? Oh, God, you gotta be kidding me. When was the last time we saw a match end like that?
I'm definitely ready, and I know you go everywhere, including the grocery store, looking for a fight. Let's get to tonight's action.
Well, the name of the game is to beat your opponent down until they can't do a thing about it. And that's exactly what's happening here. I'll tell you what it is, the fact that he can back it up in the ring. This guy is dynamite between the ropes.
I don't know that there's anyone on the planet with as much intestinal fortitude as John Cena.
Life's a beach, and so is working with you. But I'm still pumped up for tonight's ECW action. It's not always who bites first that wins, though. It's usually the one whose fangs have the most poison.
It's true that he doesn't always connect with them, but when he does, it's definitely highlight reel material. I understand completely. I'm just surprised to be hearing something so politically correct coming from your lips.
It's not about the fans, you putz. He's trying to get in his opponent's head, and he's doing a good job of it.
Ric Flair is the most decorated athlete in all of sports entertainment history. There it is. He smashed the knee right into the steel ring post, and that could cause some serious damage. Eddie Guerrero is a well-deserved Hall of Famer and one of the most entertaining superstars of all time.
Okay, let me rephrase that. Anyone who matters has got to admire the attitude of Nitro.
This is a pivotal moment. Whoever loses this fight very well may also lose the match. I don't think the end of that match left any doubt in anyone's mind who the dominant superstar was. And that speed, combined with his overpowering strength, has led to the downfall of many a superstar.
The ECW superstars redefine the term La La Land, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, you know what? I think these superstars have some ideas for that table, and trust me, it doesn't involve broadcasting.
Mr. McMahon may be our boss, but think of all the suffering and embarrassment he's caused different people over the years. It sure is. And ECW definitely knows how to put on a show in the city that never sleeps. What a match! These superstars brutalized each other until one of them was unable to stand.
That's because he's a winner, dummy, plain and simple. That's something you can understand.
He's also a world-class trash talker. Burke has had plenty of harsh words for the ECW originals.
No kidding. That thing is meant to crush stone. Just imagine what it would do to a human body.
We're getting extreme north of the border as ECW hails from Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
I respect that a lot because unlike you, I know the thrill of victory like Regal does. You are just a loser.
Hey, look, there's nothing wrong with him doing whatever it takes to win the match. If it was that bad, the ref would have DQ'd him, right?
That's stalemate, partner. I think everybody here wanted a more definitive decision to this matchup. Trick nothing. It's like he's pulling a quarter from behind his opponent's ear. It's an underhanded tactic, plain and simple. No kidding, partner. These superstars beat the heck out of each other until one of them could no longer stand.
God, King Booker's the greatest. He's got the total package of speed, strength, and skill.
Flying off the top of the cell, I can't even begin to comprehend the type of pain that inflicted. It's worked pretty well for him over the years, though. Tommy Dreamer is definitely hardcore. He's an incredibly well-rounded superstar, and that makes it hard for his opponents to find a weak point to exploit.
He stole the hearts of fans worldwide, that's for sure. And he also stole plenty of victories, too.
This isn't a good sign. If you're going to let your opponent work you over like that, you might as well just say uncle.
Well, you're no picnic either, partner, but I can't wait for the superstars of ECW to put on one hell of a show.
I'm all for settling disputes with your fists, but after that, even I gotta say, can't we all just get along?
Knees are very delicate no matter how big you are, and that smash into the steps is proof. That means they'll have to bring it even harder if and when next they meet. Let's hope that time comes soon. There's a reason that's called a signature maneuver. I'm glad I'm sitting at this table instead of involved in this match.
And he earned it for sure. He got the 3 count, and that's exactly what he's after from the opening bell. Darn right. That's where he became the 5-time WCW World Champion. Okay, fine. So you're entitled to an opinion, but you have to realize my opinion is correct.
Tell me something. Do you really think Nitro is the A-list Hollywood celebrity he claims to be? Gregory Helms has become one of the most successful cruiserweights in WWE history.
All this Chris Masters needs is the right shot at the right title, and he'll be doing just fine after that.
And there's a very thin layer of padding along that barricade, but trust me, that doesn't soften the blow much.
Wait a minute, you forget, I've been on planes with you. Either you were snoring, or you swallowed a chainsaw in catering.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Nothing costs you a match quicker than overconfidence.
I'm not going to get all mushy like that over a match, but I will agree, these superstars are really putting it down tonight.
Batista bomb! My God! He might have knocked his opponent out cold with that one!
Johnny Nitro is definitely tough enough to go a long way in his sports entertainment career. You're not kidding. I knew Tommy Dreamer back in the day, and I know him very well now, and he's ECW through and through. The key word there is suicidal. The only guy who tries to hurt Sabu more than his opponent is Sabu himself.
Well, it's safe to say Mr. McMahon has had his share of critics over the years, but as far as I'm concerned, I love the guy.
Batista Bomb. That's sports entertainment's own weapon of mass destruction.
Look at this. He just dropped his opponent chest first onto that very thinly padded barricade. And a sickening thud resounds through the building as chest and barricade collide.
Both you and the fans need to start respecting Chavo a little bit more. The guy's 100% talent. He's won just about every fight that mattered. And even the ones that he lost, it's not because he didn't give 110%. He's won just about every fight that mattered. And even the ones that he lost, it's not because he didn't give 110%.
There was a lot of hype leading up to this match, and surprisingly, it's been everything I thought it would be.
It doesn't matter how many times he's won it. What I'm saying here is that he's a great competitor. It doesn't matter how many times he's won it. What I'm saying here is that he's a great competitor.
Oh, real nice. He can't win fair and square, so he screws his way to a victory.
Rick Rude's success with the ladies is legendary. I remember hearing this one story,
It certainly removes any doubt about who the superior superstar is. That's for sure.
What can I say? The guy can back it up. In that case, he can say whatever the hell he wants.
I don't think the end of that match left any doubt in anyone's mind who dominated who.
The word giant gets thrown around here a lot, but the Great Khali is the real deal. The most frustrating thing in the world is when you want to keep fighting, but you know you ain't got nothing left. And that's supposed to be a bad thing? How many times do I have to say it there, Charlie? This is not ballet.
He's got his opponent in the casket. This match and a career could end right here.
He's a winner, plain and simple. That's why you have such a hard time figuring him out. You'll never be a winner like him. I was talking to one of these superstars before the show, and they let me in on a little secret strategy we're planning for tonight.
Bailing on you would be like the pilot jumping out of a plane. Who would be left to fly? I couldn't do that to our viewers. If I had the authority to outlaw certain moves, that would be pretty high up on my list.
This is going to be one ginormous show. Anaheim is going to be taken to the extreme.
I hope these fans appreciate this opportunity to see Terry Funk live and in action here tonight.
It sure isn't. And something tells me he's not going to give his opponent any time to catch a breather after that.
Neither one of these superstars can afford to get knocked off the ladder, but it's bound to happen soon, I'm telling you.
Do I detect a tinge of jealousy? Maybe you didn't always get that kind of reaction from the audience. Many have tried to break free of the Masterpiece's masterlock, but almost all have failed.
Stone Cold Stunner. Ah, yeah. I'll drink to that. Stone Cold, Stone Cold. Stone Cold Stunner. Ah, yeah. I'll drink to that. Stone Cold, Stone Cold.
What incredible intensity from these two superstars trading blows high above the ring.
Finley's old school, man. He'll pick you apart piece by piece with deadly precision. Enigmatic, huh? Wow. That's a $10 word. That's a fancy way of saying he's kind of unusual. I'd be a little careful if I was you, because there's a good chance that Shane McMahon will come over there and slap you right across your lip. ECW is setting up shop in St. Louis, and everyone in the city wants to check it out.
That's true, but I can't help but be concerned for his physical well-being after a shot like that. The only thing scarier than Kane's physical stature is his litany of mental problems.
I can't believe the mandible claw is a legitimate move. It's absolutely disgusting.
You know, a lot of people think that Stone Cold really started to come into his own back in the day in ECW. You know, a lot of people think that Stone Cold really started to come into his own back in the day in ECW.
And that means you got to either dig deep and find a way to break it, or you got to just flat out tap out.
Yeah, but there's always a bigger dog. Randy Orton may be taught a lesson sooner rather than later. So do I. You get the feeling Khali isn't here just to win matches. He wants to end careers.
Uh-oh. He's got his opponent in a casket. I don't even want to think of what's going to come next.
It's pretty simple. If your opponent can't kick out, you'll get your hand raised in victory. That's what we just saw.
I'm not a fan of his attitude, but I'll give credit where credit is due. This kid is the total package.
All these great fans in 619 country are ready to get extreme tonight, and so am I. He got it. That double arm suplex is an uphill battle to recover from, to say the least. Whoa, calm down there a little bit, Twinkle Toes. You're going to leave a puddle. He got it. That double arm suplex is an uphill battle to recover from, to say the least. You know, he's looking to drive right in the winner's circle, right? Let's see if his opponent can do anything about it. Finley's a heck of a competitor. I love watching him work in that ring. He's a superstar. I'd like you to give it a shot. There's no way you could do it, but I could use a good laugh.
Vicious, just vicious, sending his opponent headfirst into those steel ring steps. These superstars have inflicted so much damage on each other that I'm getting exhausted just watching them. This match just goes to show you never know what to expect in the world of sports entertainment. It's got to be tough even to think about winning the match if you can barely walk. Certainly tips the scales.
I gotta hand it to MVP. He got some big coin even before his first WWE match.
When those ring ropes and eyeballs meet, it doesn't take a Vegas bookie to tell you which one's going to win out. Talk about a difference maker. Very few superstars can recover from physical abuse like that.
The Undertaker's a legit phenom for sure, but I hope he hasn't bitten off a little bit more than he could chew here tonight.
And it's a seriously powerful superstar who can make an opponent do just that.
When it's steel versus skin, I don't care how tough you are, steel's gonna win every time.
Talk about intimidating. The only thing more intimidating than Snitsky is your breath. Ah, it's reeking.
These modern-day gladiators are doing battle in front of throngs of bloodthirsty spectators. This is an expression of dominance if I ever saw one. He's definitely in the driver's seat now.
This is by far the greatest city in the world, and it's always great to be back home. Hey, if you were as rich as Shane is, you would do anything you could to avoid losing also.
And the crowd has come alive tonight with a chant directed at the superstars of the ring. Is there any more popular superstar in the history of WWE than The Rock? It's great to see The Rock once again walking tall in WWE. Get it? Walking tall? He's completely in control of his opponent, and he's putting that exposed turnbuckle to good use. I think it would take only a single chokeslam or a tombstone piledriver to change your mind about that one. Good call, partner. He's got it cinched in nice and tight and doesn't want to let it go anytime soon. It sure is. If you want to see a physically dominating superstar, look no further. You sure don't. But since our business has no off-season, you get to see it all year round.
With rivalries like these, you take your homework home with you. I have no idea what that means, but sounds good. She's hotter than a desert and 3 times as beautiful. What other lady can compete with that?
I'll put it this way, partner. If Bret Hart doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, nobody does. Before King Booker's reign over WWE, had a very successful run in WCW.
The ref isn't going to stop the entire match over that. It's just a little blood. Throw a pair, will you? Momentum is the key, man. Get it? You're in control. Then it's your match to lose.
Oh, man, even when it's got a cover on it, the turnbuckle is not something you want to be driven into head first.
I don't think he cares much at all about the financial, ramifications of his actions right now.
Oh, man, I can't think of a lot more things more painful than getting your face planted into the rope like that.
Rock bottom. If his opponent had any energy left in the reserves, it's gone by now. Rock bottom. If his opponent had any energy left in the reserves, it's gone by now.
Stone Cold Steve Austin is arguably the most popular personality in WWE history.
It took the fans quite a while back in the day to warm up to Tommy Dreamer, but once they did, they stuck with him.
Mark my words, this Kenny Dykstra is a young, up-and-coming superstar to keep your eyes on.
He's got this crowd solidly behind him, and now he's going to give them exactly what they want to see. After signing that big money contract with Smackdown, some accuse MVP of overstating his abilities. I don't know. Maybe Mr. and Mrs. Kelly had a feeling that their daughter would have trouble remembering 2 names.
Whoa! She pulled off the upside-down head scissors. There aren't a lot of superstars that can pull that one off.
That smash mouth style that helped him to hold on to the WWE Championship for so long.
Yeah, but check it out. If you come to ECW, you better be ready for a fight, because it's no walk in the park. You're usually lucky to escape with a loss instead of getting your head smashed in with a sledgehammer. Yeah, they like it as long as he's in a good mood, but if he gets frustrated here, we might see a different side of Carlito.
That's what our brand of sports entertainment is all about, giving the fans more bang for their buck.
Yeah, there ain't much that you can do once your opponent gets into that position and starts unloading on you like that.
He took his opponent to the limit and came out on top. What a competitor. What a shining wizard that not only rang his bell, rang the whole damn choir. Fans may remember the time Elijah Burke stepped up to the announce table to fill in on color commentary in your absence.
Well, that goes without saying. Look at you. You're what, $1.50 soaking wet with a brick in your pocket?
It's the FU. Think of how many big league matchups he's won with that move. Michelle McCool is a former Diva Search contestant who's now become a very successful performer.
Yeah, she's from potato country there, Idaho. Talk about going from the dumps to the riches.
You can't, plain and simple. You don't go into a match like this one thinking you might lose. But there you go.
The adrenaline is pumping. The crowd is coming alive. This is what they came to see. JBL has always been one of the most outspoken critics of Extreme Championship Wrestling. Me neither. These fans can't get enough of him, and it's a real treat to see him in action here tonight.
You can't get distracted. You got to keep your eyes on the prize and don't stop until you get your hand raised.
A big welcome to our great ECW fans as we come to you live from Miami, Florida.
When athletes are working their butts off in that ring like these two are, I gotta respect them for that.
As well they should, partner. Tonight's show promises to be a roller coaster ride from start to finish. There's the forearm grinding into the face, an excruciatingly painful maneuver. An incredible victory by submission. What an amazing end to a phenomenal match.
The most electrifying move in sports entertainment today, Cole. The People's Elbow.
Hey, they turned their back on him first, and they're lucky he didn't give an RKO for their trouble.
Would you look at that vicious slam of the head into that very thinly padded security barrier?
You got to take advantage of every opportunity to beat down your opponent while you're in a cage match.
It's time for one of these superstars to take over this match, and I mean really take over this match.
I can't tell if that's a cut or a broken nose, but either way, the referee may need to stop this match. I don't know what's more uncomfortable, experiencing that or just having to watch it, but I'll take your word for it.
I think you and I could take them on also, providing you just sit in the corner and look silly and stay out of trouble. Hey, I'm doing my job, buddy. I'm just watching the competitors really, really closely.
Watch your mouth. This man's like a living work of art. He's like a Piquiscasco or something.
I sure did, and what a fighter he was. Record of 103-1 with 102 knockouts.
As funny as it be to me, you may want to scoot your little narrow butt out of the way before it's too late.
And that's what makes Terry Funk so dangerous. However far you're willing to go, he'll go farther.
Her opponent got absolutely planted with that DDT. Talk about brutal. Well, by now I'd probably be in the locker room taking a victory shower, but that's just me.
My brain is mad at me just for trying to think about that. These superstars sure put their bodies on the line. No argument there. If your opponent can't continue the match, it's pretty obvious who won.
I don't like it either, let me tell you. It's those things in chess. What do you call them? Male states. He played possum there and didn't end up as roadkill. By the way, I can't stand possums.
Head first, right into the security barricade. This might be getting a little too close for comfort for some of these fans.
You gotta admire the attitude of Johnny Nitro. The guy is packed with confidence.
Oh, come on. His so-called kingship is a fraud. I mean, he won the King of the Ring, but he's not a real king. That's it. Stop the damn match. There's no way anyone could continue after that. We've seen this before. He'll do whatever it takes to win and take every advantage he can. Look at the sheer brutality on display, driving his opponent face first into those ring steps.
Of course they're here to see ECW action, nits. What do you think they're here to see you? Come on.
This is it. The last ride. Oh, God. You could just feel the impact from here.
Safety is about the furthest thing on the mind of either of these guys. They just want to cause some carnage. Yeah, but me more than you. You know, because I know what it's like to perform in a ring. You don't.
Thank you. Thank you very much. How about we leave it to the ECW roster to give the fans their money's worth?
Okay, I won't, but that's a wicked shot to the knee right there, courtesy of that steel ring post. Oh, God. Let me tell you, I've taken some cane shots in my day, and they're even more painful than they look.
This is what it's all about, being front row for the best sports entertainment action on the planet.
Tommy Dreamer is living out his dream, being an ECW superstar.
Credited or blamed, depending your perspective, Sabu forced everyone to step up their game.
I wouldn't doubt it. He's got decades of competition ahead of him, and he gets better with every match. I can't argue with that, although I don't think it's his most admirable quality. What's the second thing?
There isn't anything like the sound of steel meeting human skull.
I don't know if there's ever been a better balance of power and athletic ability in one package. I think they've simply had enough of Burke beating their favorite superstars through underhanded means. I guess that's it. The referee's decision is final. The match ends in a countout.
Yeah, he was the better man tonight, but if I could give him a little piece of advice, I'd tell him not to get a little, cocky.
I believe it, partner. Going toe-to-toe in combat takes a lot more out of you than simple running and jumping. I call it sadistic or savagery before strategic. He's ruthless with those steps.
It is his destiny. He was born a guerrero. They have wrestling in their blood. You talk about him like it's a Christmas tree or something. The guy's a sports entertainment stud, plain and simple. Umaga may not be the first monster to come from Samoa, but he's definitely the baddest.
It's these fans that pay his salary. Maybe he should consider them a little more seriously.
Hotlanta is on fire tonight, baby, no doubt. And I'm just as pumped as this sellout crowd.
God, I'll tell you, I wasn't expecting them to be gentle with each other, but the gloves definitely came off for that one.
Of course. If you can cheat to get someone else the win, you can cheat to get the win for yourself, too. But to me, nothing is worse than having a great match marred by a suspect ending. And it would have been 103, but after knocking his opponent out, he was disqualified for not going to a neutral corner. I think they'd like a fair, clean match with that show, and MVP definitely does not deliver that. What a neck breaker. I don't need to experience that firsthand to understand how much it hurts.
This Sandman's like a rubber ball that can rock your teeth out if you look at him funny. And every second you spend not getting better, the competition is pulling away from you rapidly.
You know what? But who cares what they think? All he's doing here is giving his opponent a chance to recover. Oh, mama! Oh, my God, I've taken one of those before. Let me tell you, not fun.
I can't imagine being able to still compete after the career that Ric Flair has had.
Oh, man, looks like he pulled his opponent's groinal area right into that ring post.
I think these fans came here to see athletes compete in a match, not beat each other up to a bloody pulp.
Yeah, everyone except his opponent. That'll not only take the wind out of your sails, that'll sink your ship.
Honestly, I'm a little surprised to hear you ask, partner. So surprised, in fact, that I really can't make a prediction.
Boing! Following the bouncing knee. Man, that hurts like a son of a you-know. Now, if he's smart, he'll follow up with other moves and target that arm and take the fight right out of his opponent.
I got a feeling the Rose City is going to get its face rocked tonight, and I personally can't wait. Ha ha, man, that's gotta burn JBL's butt, huh? All the more reason to love this guy.
Oh, God, I think every guy watching this knows how painful this has got to be. Well, except you, Cole.
Oh, well, I was going to make fun of it. But if that's the case, then Cena's a classier dude than I'll give him credit for.
You think it'd take him a long time to develop that mean streak, too, but he's devious beyond his years.
That don't make it right. This is a total letdown for everybody, including these superstars. Melina is more than just a great manager. She's got some chops as an in-ring performer also.
Melina may be the cattiest of all the divas in the locker room. She's flat out not to be trusted.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's a kid you better keep your eyes on, especially if you're reffing a match.
Hate to correct you, partner, but it's called the Master Lock, a painful new twist on an old favorite. It's a little late for warnings. That signature maneuver was executed with razor-sharp precision. No one's saying that it is, but Mark Henry takes everything to new heights of viciousness.
I have never seen two competitors more determined to beat the living hell out of each other.
He calls it the Nightmare on Helm Street, and that might be lights out for his opponent. And that's a situation that can take the wind right out of your sails. No pun intended. The way these superstars are going at it, it's like they're not even human. Like they're not even real.
You take one look at Bret Hart, and it's not hard to see why he's a WWE Hall of Famer.
That certainly was a decisive victory. That pinfall left no room for ambiguity. Look at this, shot after shot, being laid in mercilessly. A fresh superstar has just entered the match. A huge advantage for the newcomer. Jeff Hardy has had lots of success in WWE, both as a singles and a tag team competitor. When Melina emits that banshee-like howl, she can peel the paint off the walls.
That's the way you do it. Nothing like the sight of your own blood to take the fight right out of you. That briefcase is so close, all he's got to do is just reach out and grab it. It's so close.
JTG may not always stay within the rules, but he always puts on a good show for the fans.
The Sandman is a blue-collar hero for sure. He's a man of the people, and people love him for it.
These superstars are starting to look like they're running on fumes. I think we're coming to the end of this one. He does indeed. The alpha male leaves a trail of broken bodies wherever he goes. He's giving the fans what they want and building some momentum at the same time. Nothing wrong with that.
Holy cow! There goes another table. Maybe ECW should buy a lumber mill or something. He may not be an ECW original, but he embodies the true spirit of Extreme Championship Wrestling.
If it isn't obvious by looking at them, there isn't a whole lot of give to speak of with those stares.
Oh, God. What a huge Batista bomb. That ain't a ride you want to take twice. Yeah, when you're still standing and the guy you were just in there with can't, it's pretty clear who the winner is.
I love watching Edge go to work in that ring, man. You never know what he's going to do.
I don't know if it's completely a matter of not having what it takes. Sometimes it's just not your night.
God, I just flat out love the Mr. McMahon strut, that walk. I got to get him to teach me that. That's all well and good, but what you think up in the locker room and what happens in a match are two different things.
Take a look at this debilitating arm wrench using the ring post as a weapon.
I got to agree with him, too. I mean, a win's a win, but I don't think anyone wanted it to end like that.
There's two things that I like about Elijah Burke. The first is his talent for talking trash. You know, there is such a thing as playing to the crowd a little too much, and that's exactly what I'm seeing here.
If he didn't make sure his opponent was down and out, this is going to be a very short climb. It's a long climb up the cage, but a quick and painful fall if you're not fast enough. Taking advantage is a rather generous way to put it. He's cheating! Cheating, plain and simple. They're only going to get louder as the night progresses. I can already tell it's going to be a wild night.
What do you know? You don't even have fangs. You could barely bite butter with those choppers.
I doubt that very much, partner. Carlito loves and appreciates the support his fans give him. Sabu can be credited with bringing tables into the ring and then putting his opponents through them.
There is no doubt he earned his spot. The guy went through tables, ladders, and chairs. Oh, my. Lashley's one of those quiet dudes, but when the man gets in that ring, he will beat you down. Mick Foley's one of a kind, man. From a hardcore legend to a best-selling author. Just ask him. He'll tell you.
He just dropped his opponent through the cell roof. Someone should stop this match. I'm sure every one of our students turned in their assignments on time for fear of suffering a wrath. ECW is coming at you from San Jose, California, where things are really starting to heat up.
Oh, man, check it out. A modified swinging neckbreaker. Very, very cool.
Wham! Scissors kick. You better get an ice pack ready in the locker room after this match.
Candace suffered a broken nose in the ring back in November of 2006, but returned to action only a month later.
35 years! God! He's been in the business longer than a lot of superstars have been alive.
And that's why. He's the master of the spinning toe hold. Nobody does it better.
He sure does. Piper's been a fighter all his life, and he's not about to stop now.
It's worse than anything I can imagine. But both superstars knew the risks going in.
He sure does. Piper's been a fighter all his life, and he's not about to stop now.
Don't go putting words in my mouth. I'm not saying I couldn't beat him. I'm just saying I'm glad I don't have to try. I don't get it. What, are you nuts or what? This match is just starting to get good now.
He certainly got some tremendous upsides, but he also has a tendency to bend the rules whenever he gets the chance.
There's nothing worse than getting put through a table. Talk about ruining your night. That's hardcore.
Sounds pretty stressful for the superstars, but we spectators definitely benefit from it. All I see is a dominant superstar who's rallying this capacity crowd behind him.
The Motor City is an absolute madhouse tonight. Can you dig it? Can you feel it?
The Sandman certainly is a friendly person. Never met a beer or cane he didn't like.
Oh, man, that's the one you're going to feel tomorrow. But let me tell you, you don't feel anything right after it happens. That's a tough loss for sure. But if you don't have what it takes, then you don't have what it takes. Going up the turnbuckle hurts a heck of a lot less than coming down from the turnbuckle.
Well, you could get caught. That would be disappointing. Of course, Chavo never does. I say you pay more attention to whoever you're squaring off with and leave the fans alone until the match is won.
The Rock has delivered some of the best one-liners ever heard in World Wrestling Entertainment.
He's got this guy way up there, Cole. What goes up must come down.
Only the strong survive, young lady. Everyone else gets knocked the heck out.
The stomping's bad enough, but I got a funny feeling this is going to get worse before it gets better.
I just think that he's got so much potential that he shouldn't need to fall back on cheating to advance his career.
Shad isn't afraid to do whatever it takes to get the win, even if it means going behind the referee's back.
I don't doubt that for 1 second. Remind me to stay as far away from those ropes as possible. Neither can I, and I'm sure these Salt Lake fans can't either. So let's get this show on the road. I can only imagine how it feels to see your very life force pouring down your face. And upside-down head scissors. What a tremendous display of athleticism.
All of his hopes and dreams are mere inches away. It's do or die.
As great as Funk is, you can't let the legend of the man psych you out.
Okay, I won't. But that mandible claw is locked in. What an excruciating hold. What an incredible power bomb. He may have just broken his opponent in half. That could mean a nightmare for one of the superstars in the ring. If not all of them, this could be chaos.
I think that right about now, he's hoping that you weren't screwing up at the commentary too badly.
One thing he hasn't adapted to is the fact that closed fists are illegal in WWE.
Oh, come on, quit showing off. This is supposed to be a wrestling match, not a popularity contest.
There you go. Work over your opponent till he can't fight back anymore. Then you seal a deal. Tell you what, when you get close to his tax bracket, maybe you'll get to make a decision or two.
Just like the superstars, the officials are of the highest caliber, or they wouldn't be in the ring.
Well, he wasn't planning on winding up in that casket tonight, but that's exactly what happened.
The White Russian leg sweep connects. Not the prettiest move in a book, but it's effective.
You're not kidding. All you got to do is look in the ring right now, and you see some of the best there is.
I think decades of dedication to the business have endeared him to the WWE fans.
Yeah, well, you know what? I got some bad news for these fans. He don't give a damn what you think.
What a move! But this isn't a tables match. You still gotta get the title to win.
You don't want to be choked like that. You should have fought harder to prevent yourself from getting in that position.
God, that is so vicious, just grinding your opponent's face across that ring rope. I'm with you on that. Punk would have fit right in with the original ECW back in the day.
Great strategy right there. Using the ring post itself as a weapon against your opponent.
Oh, man, what a chair shot. Brings me back to the original ECW days.
Right off the cage and back into the ring. This one's going to continue.
They sacrificed everything to get to this one match. That's some hardcore drama right there. They sure don't make referees like they used to, let me tell you. This kind of thing seems to be happening all the time. One thing that always impressed me about Jeff is that he's always puts it all on the line no matter what.
The only thing that's gone up quicker than Kennedy's stock in WWE has been his ego.
They got no choice. If you ease up for 1 second, your opponent is going to run all over you. Hey, if I poked you in the eye, nobody would cheer. Well, now that I think about it, maybe they would. He was one of the first, that's for sure, and I remember some of the wars he was in ECW, too.
When you put somebody through a table, you just about guarantee you're going to keep him down for a while. And his one loss came after he knocked his opponent out and didn't go to a neutral corner. Looks like he's planning on using that security barricade for a little more than crowd control, if you know what I mean.
I have to admit, JBL is looking pretty good out there. What is going through his mind in this match?
And even they end up smashed over someone's head. Imagine what...
I think he could be going home with the Money in the Bank briefcase right here.
There's not an ounce of quitting either one of these superstars, but someone's going down.
God, all you want to do is whine and complain. I got 2 words for you. Be quiet.
Figure 4 leg lock. A lot of superstars have been beaten by this one over the years.
I'd like to see this develop into a long-standing rivalry. Or should I say rivalry? When you come in with that kind of experience, you already got a leg up on most of the opponents.
With a great match like that, I think everyone wants to see these superstars go at it again. You're going to have a hard time escaping the cage if you keep getting smashed into it.
It's not just a leg sweep, Nits. It's the Elijah experience. And man, he nailed it.
That's the way to do it. Go after the king and the castle, and you become the ruler.
My eyes have got to be deceiving me. He just threw his opponent right off of the cell. I think the fans and everyone in the locker room might look at him a little differently because of it.
This kind of seems like a good time for a snack. Hey, you know what? Why don't you make yourself useful and go get me a hot dog?
As if the action wasn't chaotic enough already, we're adding one more to the mix. I'm sure a psychologist would have a field day analyzing him, but I'm not sure Mick would take too kindly to that.
Nether regions? Why can't you just call it a low blow like normal people? Goofy.
The match is far from over, but I'm already looking forward to the next time these competitors hook up. Slamming the head right into the steel mesh will certainly cause more than one bell to ring.
I've known Tommy Dreamer almost forever. Sometimes I wonder if the guy's got more guts than brains.
The Celtic Cross! That signature move has spelled defeat for many a superstar. Not only is that cage keeping them in the ring, it's also a deadly weapon.
These superstars have been pounding the hell out of each other, and now we're starting to see the effects of that.
You and me both, partner. This is going to be a great show, and this crowd is understandably excited.
That's what a real woman does. Melina is 100% real woman, kind of like you.
As we all know, high-risk maneuvers can either pay off or cost you dearly.
Hey, look, he knew what he was getting into when he signed on. It's not like these superstars are trying to beat him up or nothing.
This business is always about violence, but they've definitely kicked it up a notch or two.
Yeah, like the ability to fire anyone who crosses them. God, I wish you were fired.
This match has been phenomenal, unlike your call of the match. I'll tell you that right now.
Many have tried, and many have been turned away. He's not to be underestimated in the ring. Competing this intensely has to take a toll on its body and spirits, partner.
Whatever she's selling, I'm buying. She could talk a leopard into giving her spots. If I told you, it wouldn't be a secret, now would it? Jeez. No wonder why nobody trusts you.
Very funny, partner. What comedy club will you be performing at after the show? Should be on radio. Those turnbuckles are exactly where you don't want to wind up, and this is the reason why.
What a slap! Not only does that hurt your pride, it stings like you-know-what. Whoa, that was one huge leap of faith. He was absolutely on the money.
A physical match like this will take its toll, and I think that's exactly what we're seeing here.
Whoa, that was one huge leap of faith. He was absolutely on the money.
He's in the driver's seat here, and it looks like he's introducing his opponent to an exposed turnbuckle.
Don't pigeonhole Helms into the cruiserweight division like that. The guy can beat anybody on the roster.
There you go, through the table. That brings back some memories. Bad ones.
She sure is. If anyone's going to lead me around a leash, I want it to be Tori. Hey, wait a minute.
Chavo believes it's his destiny to be a success in WWE.
If there is a hell that Terry Funk won't put himself through to get the win, I've yet to see it.
There aren't too many rules as far as he's concerned. He's one dangerous dude.
Ah, that's the way to do it. Grab a weapon from under the ring and start swinging.
Oh, yeah. After a playmaker like that, he can do whatever he wants in this match. Gregory Helms was the longest reigning cruiserweight champion in history, period. HBK will never back down from a fight, even if it's not exactly in his best interest.
Oh, man, choking an opponent with the ropes like that can take the fight out of him real quick.
I certainly can't blame anyone for not wanting to continue once they find themselves in that hold.
You think the guy who beat Burke went out and bought lottery tickets? Because I'll tell you what, it was his lucky day.
Oh my God, what a match! I'm spent from just calling these two going at it. You don't get much more impressive than that. A victory by submission. How in the world is a human body supposed to withstand that kind of impact? He's not going to win any sportsmanship awards with that display, but I think he's more focused on winning the match.
Chavo sure is living up to the family legacy. I'm sure they're all very proud of him.
And that's it. It's over. His fans have got to be happy with this one. No, I don't, and I also don't know what the future holds with a rivalry between these superstars. Is that the technical term? Where did you find time away from wrestling to earn your doctorate?
It absolutely could. A pile driver like that is not something you just shake off. Looks like someone's making it pretty clear that he's not feeling too threatened right about now.
Anything and everything, man, I'm telling you. No ref, no rules.
Think of the buckets of blood that have been shed by Tommy Dreamer over the years. Oh, a DDT like that could very well put your opponent out cold. This is not where you want to wind up, hanging off of the apron with your opponent in total control. There's the Arabian Facebuster, delivered with deadly accuracy. It looks that way, partner. What else could the referee do? Rules are rules. It doesn't look like much of a cordial introduction either. This is downright hostile.
You say that like it's a bad thing. What do you think he's been so successful in the business for?
He always seems to pull out the victory, no matter how dire the situation is. Shane's not a full-time performer, but his opponents would be wise not to underestimate him in the ring.
Nope. You let your shoulders stay down on the mat for 3, you lose. That's it. That's simple. What a ripoff. I'll tell you what, we better get a rematch. I'm going to be seriously steamed.
Excitement is definitely in the air, partner. These Hershey fans are in for some great action.
Pow! The Celtic Cross will jack every vertebrae you got, buddy.
He's the alpha male, and he's on top of the food chain. And we share a nickname, by the way.
And now he's using the ring rope as a weapon. It's effective, but it's not pretty to watch. That's insult and injury at the same time. This is a brutal contest. I'd rather not watch, to be honest. That was a sickening thud of knee on steel.
What's not to like? The guy's pure gold on the microphone. Gold, I say, Jerry, gold. You know, instead of showboating to the fans, maybe you should really keep your head into this match. Ha! Now that's the way you do it. Let your opponent know who the boss is.
I sure do. The guillotine leg drop. That could be the difference maker in this match. We sure do. Face first, right into the ground. What a face buster.
Hey, don't get smart there, wise guy. Have some respect. You're watching a wrestling god in action.
The exposed steel of that uncovered turnbuckle certainly won't do you any favors. Oh my God, how can you hope to defend yourself against an object like that? I don't know if I agree with that. Mickey's just an emotional competitor. Some of the best superstars are.
Hey, I've been in the ring with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Let me tell you something. I don't envy his opponent tonight.
The ring can't contain him. The barricade can't contain him. It's chaos. I love it.
And because of the quality of competition, everyone keeps elevating their game. We've got a superstar in the casket and a match that could be over very quickly. Oh my God, he's grinding that face against the steel cage.
And yet he finds himself competing in an ECW ring. That's irony right there. Once you're on top of that cage, it's a long way down. But hey, baby, that's how you win. This was a really impressive win, man. Straight up. Mad props right to him.
I just wish we could have kept the spoon in there longer so we wouldn't have to hear the Boy Wonder talk so much trash. It sure was a long, strange trip to get these superstars to square off like this.
Honestly, Styles, besides you, I think Kelly's the only exhibitionist I've ever met.
And how many billionaires do you see getting in the ring and putting their bodies on the line like this?
You've got to get out of the cage to win, and that just might happen here. Well, that's what happens when you pick apart your opponent and lock in that submission, partner. If there's one thing Lashley can do well, it's deal with weight on his shoulders. And it didn't feel very comfortable from here. I can't imagine how it feels being the one eating the barricade.
Wow, now that one's not in the rule book. But you know what they say, it's not a crime if you don't get caught. I think he's got some bad intentions, and they involve the ring post in his opponent's knee.
Placing your opponent in a casket. What kind of sick satisfaction does that bring?
Whoa! She delivered that spear like the big guys do. This match could be over. One good thing about being at this commentary table is you get to see these matches up close and personal.
Never before have so few inches seemed so far away.
You either got to be crazy or stupid to stay in that cage 1 second longer than you need to. There's the old school forearm, and he's just grinding that thing right across his face.
You're a true friend. And now let's kick off tonight's show with our first contest. I agree with you completely. If he wants to destroy you, there's not a lot you can do to stop him. I'm a little more bitter at how he seems to think he can choose when and where to actually get in the ring. It takes heart to be a champion, and these competitors are each showing plenty of heart.
He's the kind of guy who says, I'm going to go catch a bus. He means it with his bare hands.
I don't want to doubt this guy's sincerity or nothing like that, but I got to tell you, he's obviously playing possum there.
I'll tell you, if Carlito keeps walking around telling people they're not cool, somebody's going to teach him a lesson.
I don't know any sane person with rub opponent's eye on rope on their to-do list. That's a tough call in a match like this, as both of them are formidable competitors. HBK has had several big teammates in the past. Triple H, John Cena. Shane McMahon is the privileged son of WWE Chairman Mr. McMahon. That was a decisive victory for him. That superstar's future is looking bright.
This is the type of battle that really psychs me up. They're ready to kill each other. Lovely. Hey, it's their funeral. Turning your back on a guy like the Masterpiece is like career suicide.
Might as well make the doctor's appointment right now, because that could have very well cracked a couple of ribs. Only you could see a girl like Kelly and think of headlocks and arm drags. Edge has certainly proven himself to be one of WWE's most controversial superstars.
She nails that starstruck with impressive efficiency. God, that was nice.
Bret Hart calls himself the excellence of execution, and it's not hard to see why. I'm not always a fan of his methods, but William Regal is definitely a talented performer.
Into the casket. This is not the best match if you're kind of a little claustrophobic.
STFU! That's one of the most successful submission holds out there. Not a lot of people live to see the inside of a casket. Sure glad I haven't. Yet, anyway.
It looks like there's a beating of the minds going on in there right now. Get it? Beating of the minds? Oh my God! Swanton bomb right across his chest. That could do it. He sure isn't. And that patented spinning toe hold of his might be the beginning of the end. He's definitely got a lot of tricks up his sleeve, partner, but the fans love when he pulls them out. It's worth getting a sore throat from yelling on commentary to get to witness it too.
I saw some pretty gnarly stuff under that ring earlier. I wonder what's going to get pulled out.
His heart and desire may be a little bigger than his muscles this time around. They talk about leaving it all in the ring. They don't mean that literally. What a display. He's not the only one. It looks like all of Festival City has shown up for a great night of action.
A shot in the chest like that will take your breath away, and not in a romantic way, neither.
Hey, I'm a professional, and I'm not going to try to do what Punk does. When you get in a ring with a guy with the power of the masterpiece, stuff like that's going to happen.
I don't think anyone can question the will to win being shown by these superstars.
Man, he got all of that, and once you get hit with a guy's finisher, that's all she wrote.
I was around back then too, but I don't have as much nostalgia for steel chairs to the skull. Not only is Mr. McMahon chairman of WWE, he's also a former WWE champion.
Boy, I'll tell you, that Tori Wilson is one hot mamacita. You damn skippy hippie. That just sent a powerful message to the whole locker room.
Before coming to WWE, Steve Austin had a pretty successful stint in the original ECW.
Something tells me he'll do it again if his opponent is dumb enough to ask for a rematch. Those turnbuckle pads are there for a reason. I'm telling you, without them, it's bad news.
Not technically, but getting the crowd on your side can be a huge psychological boost. A sharp chop to the chest like that's been knocking the wind out of people for years. The Sandman has definitely earned his nickname of the Extreme Icon.
No doubt that this guy practically wrote the book on taking risk and making them pay off.
The Gory Bomb! He just scored in a big way with that Gory Bomb. When you're as creatively violent as these superstars, I guess we shouldn't be surprised by anything.
Besides sticking it in one ear and pulling out the other, I can't think of a worse place.
I agree, partner. These competitors are really giving it everything they've got tonight. Yes, watching anyone interview The Rock was always interesting. I'll just leave it at that.
You can't always judge a book by its cover. Sometimes what's underneath is even worse.
Candace has been known to use that wand like Finlay uses his shillelagh as a weapon.
I'm telling you right now, he's going to make short work of his opponent if he keeps this choking up. That arm won't be the same after smashing it into the ring post like that. I'm telling you.
And that seems to be part of the game plan. Soften up that arm and turn it into a weak spot. He did a great job of wearing down his opponent, and that's the name of the game. And love him or hate him, the fans respect Triple H for his accomplishments too.
That ring rope is crushing his throat, cutting off the flow of blood and oxygen. And that's exactly what he's looking to do. Wear his opponent down quick and pick up the win.
I might be more impressed if there weren't so many disqualifications and other questionable verdicts. That may be true, but it's still a little disconcerting to see it happening before our eyes. The crowd is getting restless. I think they know they're going to see something special in a moment. Don't discount JTG though, partner. He's got a lot of skills or he wouldn't be here.
Well, you know, unless you're planning on busting through the cage, that's not the way you win a match. Oh, I'm telling you, man, I can't wait for the action to start. Just listen to these fans. Wow, that was a heck of an exclamation point. Now he's got to make a grab for the title.
DX is alive and well, baby. When those guys are around, anybody can get punked out.
Look at the way he's just viciously grinding his forearm right into his face.
If your opponent can't see, there isn't much of a threat of him hurting you. Now is there?
Yeah, and that master lock is one heck of a way to do it. That's a vicious and deadly hold.
That's why the refs are in there, partner. They make the count, they ring the bell, and they declare a winner. How do you even prepare to enter into a match against a legend like Terry Funk?
The ring is alive with the sound of music. I like this. Nothing fancy about this. Just a straight-up choke using the middle rope.
I think the fans are letting their voices be heard here, partner, and they're echoing your sentiments. You can say that again. He's made quite a name for himself so far in WWE. This steel cage itself is as big of a threat as any superstar. When your family creed is lie, cheat, and steal, it's kind of hard to disappoint.
I love hearing the crowd come alive, even when I don't exactly agree with what they're saying. There was a lot of ways I thought this one could and would go, but I never thought it would end like this.
That's fine by me. I'd rather be a completely different kind of winner. Thank you very much.
I don't know how The Rock did it, man, but he won the WWE Championship like, what, 6 times?
Kenny might be one of the youngest superstars on the roster, but he's already held tag team gold. I don't think his opponent had any desire to switch occupations and join a castrati choir.
Look at that! That's the kind of thing you need to do if you're serious about winning a match. And even if you can't make your opponent tap out, This will take a lot of fight out of him.
Orton's mouth has gotten him into trouble numerous times, both in and out of the ring. I know if I was on a dark street and saw him walking my way, I'd curl up in a ball until he was gone.
Look at all that blood. These WWE fans are definitely getting their money's worth tonight. I took a few of those in my day, hence why I'm sitting here next to you, dummy.
Hey, if you're going to form rivalries with guys like Kane and Bobby Lashley, you got to be tough.
He's the total package as far as I'm concerned, unlike you who's just, a package.
I certainly do not know, but I'm definitely glad he found it and made a comeback.
Looks like we're going to find out how sturdy these announce tables are. I don't have a lot of faith in them.
I don't believe it. He just hurled his opponent off the roof of the cell.
You want me to say he's cocky? Fine, he's cocky. At least he don't smell like it. You do.
He gets off on hurting people in crazy ways, and that's a big part of what ECW is all about.
Look at the masterpiece. This guy's like a piece of art. Or something. Okay, yeah, great. That's just great. Now why don't you quit showing off and get down to business here?
I think they've proven that they have what it takes to hold their own in battle. Gut check time. Can he reach the title before his opponent stops him? There he goes. If he can make it over and out of the cage, this one's over.
Randy's a third-generation competitor, but he's the best of the bunch.
It sure looks that way, partner. And I'm not any happier about it than you are. And when you're facing a superstar like Marcus Corvan, what should your strategy be?
Well, to me, it's whether or not the ref's hand slapped the mat a third time on that pinfall.
Whoa, getting your head slammed into that table once is bad enough, but this is too much.
And that's why Bret Hart is one of WWE's most respected Hall of Famers.
Oh man, getting yanked off the cage is not going to help you win a match like this.
I think Mick still has plenty of fight left in him, and he's showing it here tonight.
I don't know if everybody's going to be happy with the decision, but it's pretty clear who won that one.
So what are you, his parole officer or his mommy? He's in a fight over there. Cut him some slack. Take it from me. You got to be a well-conditioned athlete to succeed in this industry.
That sleeper hold is locked in, and it's about to take his opponent to Dream Street. Flair's mischievous tendencies are addictive. The fans can't get enough of him.
Hey, you ever thought about becoming a wrestler, or what they call in this company, an in-ring competitor?
Look at this power. He's lifted his opponent right off the mat by the throat. He's fallen many times, but Hardy always seems to claw his way back up.
Oh man, getting your face driven into the rope like that is even more painful than it looks.
Roddy Piper is one of sports entertainment's most outspoken personalities. He's a gifted young superstar, that's for sure, but I'd like to see a little more respect for the rules.
No one who steps into the steel cage comes out the same, and that's why. Good night, Irene. I can't remember ever seeing a superstar get up from that one.
I wonder if these competitors are going to be able to shake hands after all is said and done.
I'm not one to judge a match with stars, but this one is off the chain. I'm saying it's a miracle he's still walking around after all those high-risk maneuvers he's done.
I understand that Nitro has no problem using underhanded tactics to get his way.
I sure do. Sharpshooter! Talk about your excellence of execution.
Mick Foley was extreme long before Extreme Championship Wrestling existed. Top rope moves can win or cost you the match. There's no middle ground about it.
Yeah, and anytime your opponent is able to control you like that physically, it's not a good sign.
Well, hindsight's 20/20, partner, and apparently we can't say the same for the referee's eyesight.
Having respect and support of the crowd is great, but it's not going to win you the match.
This one doesn't have that luxury. It's nothing but steel on skull. Few things are as exciting as when Eddie turns up the Latino heat.
You can't take this kind of beating and expect to win the match. This thing ain't going to last much longer.
What's wrong with that? His charisma is one of the things that got him to the big dance in the first place.
Yeah, well, you know what? He better worry more about the injury and less about the insult until this match is over.
Look at this. You don't often see a superstar's signature move used against them like this.
Chokeslam from hell. That's the express train to pain.
It's a war, that's for sure, I'm telling you. And the cage is the ultimate weapon.
And neither can these fans. We'd better get started, or we might have a riot on our hands. So close. This superstar is so close to escape.
Well, he's usually sleeping next to the championship title. The guy is money. That'll knock a couple of few years off your career, I'm telling you, if not end it completely. Hey, Slappy, you might want to look away, because this move's a little bit too cool for you.
Too late. He hits the white Russian leg sweep. That's a difference maker. And despite the name, that's a move that knocks most superstars out cold.
He can back it up like nobody's business, too. The guy's a world-class striker.
There's no arguing that point. Not when you're talking about a former Intercontinental Champion. And now a vicious choke using the ring rope to cut off the oxygen supply.
That would be a really good time to start wearing down a body part. I say go for the leg.
I love seeing The Rock on the silver screen, but it's even better to see him in the squared circle.
Wait, that's it? No. The ref's just gonna let it end like that?
With a battle this intense, you can't help but take it personal, whether you win or lose.
Bret Hart might be the greatest technical superstar ever to compete in WWE. The roof gave way. I can't believe anyone could have survived that. Triple H is one of the most decorated WWE superstars in history.
It sure isn't a ball to have that move put on you, if you know what I mean.
This drunk has been in some of the biggest fights and wildest matches in ECW's history. There's a reason why they call this match Hell in a Cell. I'm telling you.
And I think everybody in attendance tonight heard that message loud and clear.
Then maybe I'll have to break out my mute button, also known as my fist.
We knew it was only a matter of time before someone put that exposed turnbuckle to use. That's true. Either you make it to the ropes, find an escape, or tap out. If that arm's being targeted the way I think it is, this could be the beginning of the end. WWE has become truly a global company. The twisted expression on the face of the victim demonstrates that loud and clear. Bobby Lashley is very proud of his years of service with the U.S. Army. We sure do. That giant chop of his has destroyed many a superstar. How do you approach a match with something like the Great Khali?
You damn Skippy. Nobody gets up from the rude awakening. Nobody, I say.
What a match. I'm telling you right now, this bad boy just gave me goosebumps. She does look great in the ring, that's for sure, but that doesn't exactly win matches. You know what I'm saying?
What a battle, and there's no doubt in anyone's mind who won that one.
Hey, Sammy, did you know that Elijah Burke used to be a boxer before he came to the WWE?
Well, in a situation like that, you either tap out or risk hurting yourself badly. Claw is a good term, partner. Regal uses whatever it takes to get an advantage. He's pummeling his opponent in the turnbuckles with those closed fist shots. He sure is. I can't even begin to imagine where they found a monster like him. CM Punk spent many years honing his craft before making it here to the big time.
You don't get to be a superstar unless you grab life by the horns and wrestle it to the ground. Why don't you pop a few more estrogen pills while you're standing there, you little pansy? This is great.
And the triple jump moonsault right on the money, man. That's gotta hurt.
Yeah, and if you don't like it, you're welcome to try and change his mind by stepping in the ring with him. Yeah, and if you don't like it, you're welcome to try and change his mind by stepping in the ring with him.
Wham! Head first, right into the barricade. Trust me, that hurts.
Looking at Tori reminds me of something a friend of mine used to say. She's got legs all the way to her.
Yeah, it's off the chain for sure, I'll tell you that right now. I can't wait to see how it ends.
They paid for their tickets, and that gives them the right to have their voices heard. That's the kind of match that, win or lose, changes your life forever.
Well, you know the old expression, when the cat's away, the mice will beat each other up.
That's a tough way to lose a match, having to tap out to a submission hold like that. The Nature Boy is still going strong after 35 years in the business.
Jeez, what a drop. We better get a doctor or a trainer out here or something. Oh, man, now they're mixing it up. In the crowd to boot. This is insane.
You got that right. Would I miss tonight for the world? No way, Jose.
A stomp to the chest and it's out of the ring. This isn't going to be pretty.
You gotta have guts to go toe-to-toe with a guy like Lashley and knock back down.
I wouldn't say I love it. It's not exactly a pillar of sportsmanship when he competes. Easy, I'm guessing that's probably not a family-friendly anecdote.
You may not like the fans, but as a superstar, you got no choice but to listen to them.
We've seen that time and time again, and we're seeing that here tonight in this match.
That King Booker has more weapons in his arsenal than most entire kingdoms.
Arguably, Mickie James is the most athletic woman on the WWE roster. The superstar he's in there with right now is sure going to try, but the odds aren't in his favor. And he got it. Double arm DDT straight into the canvas head first. Neither superstar is giving an inch, but only one of them can stay up there.
Yeah, and every drop has been shed for ECW and the ECW fan base.
Yeah, but if they did, I don't know if they'd be able to take it off after that.
That's true, partner, but every time he sets out to entertain the fans, wow, I don't think his opponent's getting up from that anytime soon.
Ashley may look like a kitten, but she fights like a tiger. Freedom of speech is definitely a cool thing, and we're getting a perfect example of it right now.
The backcracker, wow! I'm pretty sure his opponent didn't think that was very cool.
That was a tough match, no doubt. He stepped right up to the challenge.
Wow, look at that confidence. He's letting his opponent know who the boss is.
Wherever you are, sucking the life out of a room, I'll be there to carry your weight.
Maybe not fancy, but it's demented, sadistic, and just flat out evil. What does that do to the chemistry in the locker room, being united but divided? That proves even if something is nailed down, somebody will still use it as a weapon.
Good night, Irene. Nobody sticks around long after taking a finisher like that.